thinking about as you watch this dramatic reading is I want you to be thinking to yourself, how would you feel if you were facing each group as they accused you of what's being accused of? Just put yourself in the position of Jesus, put yourself in the position of Peter. Okay, so just firstly, recap. Last week we saw Jesus on trial. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the Sanhedrin, which is the highest Jewish council, was made up of 71 of the most powerful Jewish leaders. And now the one who would sit judging the world, Jesus, right, who's going to judge all of these guys in the end, the Jewish leaders, remained silent when he made a good confession before an unjust court of 71 of the most powerful people. And they pronounced him guilty, is my gavel, so guilty. And then they spat on him, they struck him, they mocked him, and he remained faithful. So guys, if you guys can play out the scene now for us. So our witness comes forward. Yeah, a little bit.
This man said, I'm able to destroy the temple of God and to rebuild it in 3 days. Why are you laughing?
I need an answer to make. What is it that these men testify against you? I adjure you by the living God. Tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God.
A little loud.
I tell you, I'm not the Son of Man, seated at the right hand of power and coming to pass.
Rips, bro.
He has uttered blasphemy. What further witnesses do we need? You have now heard his blasphemy. What is your judgment?
Everyone? And now, come on, someone get us. And then somebody, I can be you, Josh. You give me something. Yeah.
Prophesy to us, you Christ. Who is it that struck?
Okay. And now we're moving on to scene number 2 with Peter, standing a little bit further away.
You also know with Jesus of Galilee.
I do not know what you mean.
Where's the chicken?
This man was with Jesus of Nazareth.
I do not know the man.
Certainly you two are one of them, for your accent betrays you.
I do not know them.
Now, who wants to make a rooster sound? Thank you. Okay, rooster sound. Well done, everybody! Yeah, go see. But I want Noah and Isaac to stand up here. Firstly, I want to ask you guys. Firstly, like Jesus, if you were in that situation, like, how would you have felt? Yeah. Yeah. And would you felt like intimidated at all? Yeah. I mean, even though these aren't 71 Jewish officials, like, you know, having a whole bunch of older guys in front of you is pretty intimidating. What about you, Peter? How did you feel?
Scared and depressed.
So still scared and impressed, but do you think you felt as scared or depressed as Jesus would have felt? If you're on the other side over there? Maybe? Okay. Now I just want everyone to just discuss with the people around you. You guys can grab a seat. What did you observe about the two trials? What was different? What was similar? Just have a chat. 3 times, and he's the one that says, "I will never leave you." And I think, like, as we reflect on that, I think it becomes pretty clear how quickly the strength of people fails. And it highlights Jesus was utterly alone. And yet, alone, he fought for our salvation and he won our salvation. And like Peter, I think the key thing is we're meant to identify ourselves with Peter. We too are like the guilty ones who denied Jesus. So we're guilty before God, and yet the interesting thing is at the end of Matthew, it says in Galilee, the 11 disciples, that's all 11 minus Judas, thank you for dramatic effect, are all there with Jesus, restored to Jesus. This is a beautiful thing, including Peter. In fact, in John, next passage, in John 21, what you see here is Jesus beautifully restores Peter. Look at this. Jesus, after finishing breakfast, says, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And Jesus said to him, "Feed my lambs." He said to him a second time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." And he said to him, "Tend my sheep." And he said to him the third time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" And Peter was grieved because he had said to him a third time, "Do you love me?" And he said, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." And Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep. Truly I say to you, when you were young, you used to dress yourself and walk wherever you wanted. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands, and another will dress you and carry you where you do not want to go." This he said to show the kind of faith he was to glorify God. And after saying this, he said to him, "Follow me." So why do you think Jesus asked him 3 times, "Do you love me?" Does anyone want to have a crack at that?
The rooster.
The rooster? Yeah, any more?